piece of flat land, and today I'm going to show you how to build a circular floating base. Now I've had one of these bases before, and several people have asked me how I managed to get a circular base floating without using any steps to anchor it to the ground. Now I took the idea for a circular base from Jug, and I'll link the description in there, and then just modified it using the floating doors trick to then lift it off the floor. So we'll go ahead and we'll start off with the start of the circle base. So we have a cross laid out here, and basically what we need to do is stand in the middle and make sure that we don't move from a certain spot. And we enter the build mode, and we remove these first tiles that are closest to the center. Just turn around on the spot to do so, and that's them gone. So it leaves us with this central foundation and then the 4 foundations around the edge. Now I'm not quite in the center here, so I'll just adjust myself. Sometimes it helps if you go into third person to see roughly where you are, and again I'm not quite level, and this will help because when you're putting yourself into the right place to get these foundations sorted, it'll help you keep things nice and level. So first of all, I go to the walls and I build these out of wood to start off with because it's just cheaper on the mats. So go to place the door, and I hold down the build button, and then using my left thumbstick I push away till it snaps to the opposite wall, and I have the first wall placed, and then I just turn and repeat on all 4 sides. Now as you can see, these aren't sunk right into the ground, and that's because this one I'm looking at now, if I sunk it down right below, it would be clipped into the ground, and then I can't attach the wall to the right place. So I've lifted it all up, and then when forming the cross I make sure that they're all at the same height. So now I've got these 4 walls there, I look at the bottom piece, I look at the foundation, I click it, and then I just ever so slowly drag to the right, making sure to keep it at the same height, otherwise it'll throw your build out higher up. Get to about here, drop the foundation. Now you can see that the wall, that floating doorway is still there, which is what allows us then to build the walls. Now for some reason I'm probably not looking down low enough. There we go. I can now snap that across to there. Pick the foundation up, slowly drag it round to the right or to the left, whichever you prefer. Drop the foundation, hold the build, push away, and then it snaps into place. Now I can't move this foundation to fill that gap because that foundation's there. So what I personally do is I'll remove that foundation, go back across to here, snap it, nope, I've lifted that up slightly. There's a little trick here, which you can see you've got like that grey shading and shadowing on there. As you're dragging it across, as long as you're seeing that, you've got it at the right height, as long as you're still getting that between each piece. So come across and drop the foundation, drop your wall, and there you go, you've got your first half done. So grab your foundation, and it's literally just rinse and repeat all the way around until you have your circle. So I'll just get this done quickly. Obviously the more you do this, the faster at it you get. Expect the first time you do it to get it right to take you, I mean it took me about an hour so to get the floor part done. I've gotten used to doing this, so I can get it done that bit quicker. But always remember just to turn your character with the right stick. Don't use your left stick when you're turning, otherwise you'll throw your build out. You'll end up putting a wall in the wrong place, which will then affect your walls as you go round higher up. They won't snap together and you'll end up with gaps in between your walls, or things won't line up and they won't snap properly, which will then just mean having to adjust everything from the start again, which some people end up actually ripping their base apart completely and starting fresh. So as long as you remember those simple tricks, you should be okay. So, and I've just realised I've just moved my character, I think. No, I just thought I had. As you can see, the speed I'm throwing these around at, I've gotten used to doing it. Nope. I'm sure I just moved then. Yeah, I'm not quite central again, so I've run the risk of it now being off, but we'll see. Let's turn. Sometimes when you're holding down the X button and pushing forwards, if you try and do it too quick, your character takes a little half step forwards, which as you go around the circle builds up, builds up, builds up, and you're no longer in the right places. So right, as you can see, we have ourselves a circular base. Now from here, to lift it up and then create ourselves a floating base, all we do is we use the magical doorways and we just stack them on top of each other. Like so. So now we have those two walls. Now if you really want to get some extra height, what I found from here is the maximum build height is 3 walls, as my camp is placed on the ground, and there's nowhere really here to well at this spot at White Springs to fully place your camp up in a tree, so you can get the 3 walls high up and the 3 walls high down, so giving you a total of 6 stories. I know some people have said they're able to get 7 stories, but that takes some monumental planning and effort to get that high. Come on. So there we go. That is our 3 walls high. Now what I found is best is to leave 1 wall attached to a foundation. That way then if you have any mistakes and you need to go back, it allows you to keep things going. But from here on, as long as you leave all these as walls, as floating doors, you can now get rid of these other doorways. Now obviously, like I said, I'll leave these in here in case I need to rebuild, because without the foundation and without the wall there, it does make it difficult when trying to work on it. If you put something down wrong and we haven't got that connection to a foundation there, it won't allow you to remove it. So I'll just leave these in here for the moment. Now one thing about this is if I change this piece here to a wall, it then means I can remove this piece, but that means then I can't remove that piece, because it then classes that part as having nothing to connect to. So for the time being, while you're building, leave all your walls as doorways, because then afterwards you can remove that one underneath. And now if I wanted to just work from there, I could do, but then afterwards I've just realised that I want a second floor. I can't. So what you have to do, hence why you leave the foundation in, is you have to build up from the foundation to reconnect it all. Once that's in, you're fine. So there we go. That is how to build a floating base. Thanks very much for watching. If I get any more tips on how to do things like this, I'll be sure to pass them on. So enjoy your play, have fun, and enjoy.